And I think this is a very important meetings that you have in Europe, because I think that could be the start of a turning point also in the attitude of the international community. Myself, I was a few days ago in Washington DC, having contacts also with a number of people, and I see in any way in the attitude of the American administration since the arrival of Mr. Kerry to the State Department a change in their attitude.
There are main goals for the Free Syrian Army. The first goal is to fall the regime. And the second goal is to defend the civilians and to defend the country and to stop killing and destroying. The first thing is to support us, humanitarian support and medical support, and directly, please, to the liberated areas, not through the regime, because the regime steals 70% of the support and send us only 30%. The support, if it is possible, we need it to the liberated area. Secondly, we need weapons and ammunition, and at first, anti-tank and anti-aircraft missiles to be able to stop killing and destruction. Thirdly, I like you to give more protection for Syrian citizens who come to your countries. And this kind of protection can be for a short period of time. When the war ended, they come back home. Our boys and girls are not going more to the universities, to the schools. They can't go there because the regime targeted the schools, the hospitals, and the infrastructure in the liberated areas.
I can only repeat the words of Guy Verhofstadt, we are with you, but we should also deliver. If there would be military supplies to your Free Syrian Army, can you then liberate your country? Is a military offensive possible? And secondly, will the national army, the army of Assad, will it rise against Assad? Because they're killing their own people. This must be very bad for their morale. So first of all, is a military victory possible by you? And will Assad's army rebel against Assad? Thank you very much.
Did you meet Mr. Kerry? You didn't meet him. So, well, the question is, because Europe can do a lot, of course, we know that. But I think it's essential, as Mr. Verhofstadt said, what about the US? What about what's happening in Washington? Do you got any other signals from Washington and the US administration? Because I think that's vital. Is 60,000 people killed during the last 2 years? I think it's so awful that it's still happening, and we are not doing anything. We are trying to do a thing, but we are not, in essential things, we are not doing anything. We have in the European Union as called a battle group. Why aren't they there? Try to protect the citizens. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ole. General, can I give you the floor to respond to a number of these questions? You can do it in Arab, huh? No problem. Yes. We have translation there for that. So,
okay. What's the solution? Should it be political or should it be military? The answer is clear. You cannot reform this regime. If that were possible, right from the start of the revolution, we would have known that. The regime would have come up with a proposals for reform. Well, all that we have seen is just exactly what any dictatorship does. I think it's simple. The military solution could be very long, take a long time and be very expensive. So what I hope for is your aid, your support, so that we can bring pressure to bear on the Russians, on Russia, so that the Russian Federation will stop supplying aid and support to the regime. They have never given up to now. We have every respect for Russia. It's a great country. So I just wonder how Mr. Sergei Lavrov can become Bashar al-Assad's spokesperson. So we want a government, a political government, not a military government. That's the important thing. In the future, we want the army to stay away from politics. We don't want to allow a general to become the president of the country. We want a country with a multi-party system. We want to organize parliamentary elections, and then 4 years later, another set of parliamentary elections. We have always lived in peace with our Christian brothers and sisters, and we have no wish for revenge. We're against any form of extremism, including extremist forms of Islam. We're against fundamentalism, Islamic fundamentalism. We're in favor of a moderate Islam. Religion is an affair between God and the individual. Everyone has their own beliefs. There are no intermediaries.
My hope is that these assurances, this information can also be given in a widespread way in Europe, so that hesitations from the side of the international community and from the side of the European Union can disappear the fastest as possible. So thank you very much, and this concludes the hearing of today.